All right, here's some more beef between HBO head of their sports Peter Nielsen and Bob Arum. Y'all know who he is, the president of Top Rank. He the top ranked guy, and they beefing. I'm gonna let y'all know what y'all beefing about in 1 minute, but y'all know what it is. It's the boxing clinic. Your boy CJ Goodfella. Also, if anybody interested, that's a Detroit Lions fan. I do run Detroit sports fan. I do run a Detroit sports YouTube page. Let me know in the comment. If you interested in hearing kicking that knowledge, man. It's good stuff. I think just like this stuff is pretty good. But we just dropped the Lomachenko and Jorge Linares video where Jorge Linares was talking about he's gonna do anything in his power to fight on May 12th and accommodate Lomachenko with Top Rank, which is pretty much impossible. You can't tell Oscar what to do when Oscar doesn't want to go against his A fighter, his ace, and Canelo Alvarez in the Triple G and Canelo replay. But Bob Arum and Peter Nelson been going at it for quite some time. Bob Arum is not a fan of Peter Nelson. And I'm thinking, I think Ken Hirschman ended up leaving HBO, and then Peter Nelson took over. And Peter Nelson didn't like the in-house stuff that Top Rank was doing. He was pushing, or at the time HBO was pushing, pushing a lot of Top Rank's cards to pay-per-view or not giving them dates. And Bob Arum wasn't liking that, so it was rumors that he was going to create a Box Nation-esque type of channel for Top Rank in-house fights. He ended up closing the deal with ESPN, so Bob always has an ace in the hole. So that's what Bob Arum did to stop working on HBO, and that's how they really start beefing. He in his article, I'll link in the description if I forget. Let me know because I'm trying to do a lot of videos in a little short time because I got some moves to shoot. I'll just be uploading them through the night. But he took a shot at the merging in the article. Said they merged with AT&T. If you didn't know, Time Warner sold HBO to AT&T, and according to Bob Arum, it's kind of under review or being appealed, or the deal is being appealed or something in the article. And I forgot what they, Time Warner sold it to HBO. Sold HBO to AT&T for, but AT&T, if you notice they, cellular commercials, they're giving you HBO for life, and that's because they acquired HBO from Time Warner. If anybody not knowing, and some Bob Arum saying that's why it's under review. He took a shot at that, but Bob Arum is accusing Peter Nelson of blocking the Jorge Linares and Lomachenko deal because simply, I guess he wants it to be on his network, or he don't want it. Well, he doesn't want it for sure to go against Canelo and the Triple G replay, which is going down May 12th. 7 days after the official fight. So the replay is big for HBO because it gives them good ratings, and it gives the fans a chance to see the fight, for free and don't have to pay the $70-$80, whatever they charge for it. So he doesn't want, Jorge Linares, which has ties with Golden Boy, and who Golden Boy works closely with HBO. He don't want, Linares going over ESPN and going against his own card. He don't want to help Bob Arum, beat HBO's replay of Triple G and Canelo, which a lot of people understand. But it's not like it's a real, like it's the actual fight. But at the end of the day, it pulls money in for him. It's a big play. So he don't want to pull some of those hardcore fans from ESPN. He don't want to pull those fans from HBO to ESPN. And Bob Arum said, they already knew what it was. In the article on Paraphrase, he said they knew what it was. He said we spent, all last week. That's what he said. All last week. I'm paraphrasing here. We spent all last week debating about money. We finally hashed out the money and basically said Peter Nelson blocked it from happening. He said we talked about money. We hashed it out. It sounded like Bob was very adamant in the article. How I read it, it's different from when somebody said it and you read it. But how I read it, he worked hard on making this fight happen money wise. And I really think that he thought this fight was gonna happen because he said he wanted Ray Beltran if he wins this fight tomorrow to face Felix Verdejo in his first defense. So he wasn't even thinking about Beltran and Lomachenko no more. That's what he wanted to do. He really wanted to make Linares and Lomachenko. I think he really did. And I know he be lying sometimes, but I really believe Bob really worked hard, hashing out, for the money. He got the money together. ESPN was dishing it out, and all of a sudden, they don't want to fight on May 12th, and he thinks Peter Nelson is blocking the deal. Obviously, Peter Nelson is not going to admit guilt to this. He said he ain't had nothing to do with the deal. Obviously, Golden Boy and HBO people don't want the Linares and Lomachenko fight to go against their replay, and it's money. And the reason why May 12th is important for Bob Arum is because it's the NBA playoffs, I guess. It started in April, and every Saturday is going to be probably occupied on that network or on ABC and going against it. So that's why it's important. And maybe, Peter Nelson is trying to finesse it where it makes it seem like he's in power, and Bob Arum got to come over to his network and bring his fighter over there. And I think it's a power struggle there. I think Bob wants it to go on ESPN, and I think Peter Nelson wants it to go on HBO. And I wouldn't be surprised if they announce that they want to bring Linares and Lomachenko over to ESPN over to HBO and kind of co-feature with the Triple G Canelo replay in the rematch. I think that would kind of make sense, but I think Bob wants to, be in power, and I think Peter Nelson wants to be in power. I think they both want a power struggle, and they're trying to flex their muscle, and they want to see who flinch first. It'd be interesting to see who flinch first, and if you get Bob to flinch on this, I think it's gonna be two guys, two white collar guys that's just not gonna see eye to eye, and it's gonna put a big divide between HBO, ESPN, Bob Arum, and Peter Nelson. But we gone.